The driver who is lucky enough to drive with a four in hand has the responsibility of practicing diligently with the whip. If you want to do this, you can find the time for it. He who cannot handle the whip as is required, that is, catch it up correctly, hit without making a noise, hit securely, and take it up again correctly, must practice very diligently. Otherwise, the whip will hinder him his whole life. The catching up of the thong of the whip is hard to describe, but even harder to learn well enough so that you can do it successfully every time while driving without disturbing the passengers and the horses. Diligence and great patience will help you to overcome this difficulty while driving tandems and in teams of four. You should do the beginning of the exercises without a whip. With chalk, draw a 26-inch large S on the wall and imagine that you have covered the tip of your right thumb with chalk and that you want to trace this S from bottom to top. Start without a whip with the thumb at A to the left. Then go very slowly a little downwards to the right, then upwards to B. From here the thumb climbs in this direction towards C, while the wrist stays back. From B on, the thumb speeds up its movement and ends shortly before C. There it remains for several seconds so that later the thong, which is flying towards the shaft, can be wound around it. The preliminary exercises must have been so thorough that you do not allow yourself to be tempted to strike after the thong with the shaft. The thong must fly towards the shaft and wrap itself around it. With the whip in the hand, the order of business is now as follows. The middle of the thong, M, will fly upwards to the right due to the slow movement of the hand, as if you were trying to hit someone standing across from you under the nose with M. Because the middle of the thong is now flying upwards to the right, supported in its effort by the acceleration starting at B, it will then fly towards the shaft when it suddenly stops at C and will wind itself around it here. This is what is meant by catching it up. Most German carriage drivers cannot handle a four-in-hand whip at all, but if he practices hard for 2 weeks, an adequately adept person can wield the whip for the rest of his life. In order to hit a lead horse, the whip must first be unwound silently to the right. Look at the whip as little as possible as to not draw your attention away from the road. If the right hand has let go of the tip, the thong drags the ground next to the carriage on the right side. In whipping the right lead horse, you lead the whip in a large circle in the opposite direction from that of the wheels and throw the thong close to the ground forwards, as if you wanted to hit an object standing about a yard ahead and to the right of the front legs of the right lead horse. In whipping the left lead horse, the whip is unwound on the right side as described. Then you grasp the shaft by striking on your right thigh at the end and throw the thong carefully in a large arc over the horses on the left side. There you make in the same manner a circle in the opposite direction from that of the wheels and try to hit the corresponding point to the left next to the lead horse.